What's up, folks? Welcome to 802 Garage. I'm Aaron, back at it again with the strangely colored 90s snowsuit and a really bad case of hat hair. I've been working pretty much all day outside, so I don't have time to edit a big video for you. Just a quick one tonight. We are going to talk about the JDM WRX swapped 2.5 RS, and it's already like 11:30 p.m. and this video probably won't be out till like 1:30 a.m. But I released last night's video that late on my GSX and all the rusty problems with it. Thank you so much for all the comments on that video, and it did pretty well despite being released late, so maybe some of you will watch this as well. Basically today I spent about 4 hours doing some ball joints on a RAV4. It actually went pretty smoothly. Only had to cut like one bolt, but they are an interesting design. It's like two studs and then a bolt that goes through the bottom, and the ball joint faces up right underneath the front axle. So the service manual actually tells you to remove the entire knuckle from the car. So unbolt the strut, unbolt the ball joint, unbolt the tie rod end. And I was like, nah, that ain't happening. So I just straight up used my same trick that I showed in the ball joint trick video. I'll put a little link up here if you haven't seen that. Worked flawlessly, saved my bum, saved me probably literally hours of work given rust, and also I can't do alignments here, so would have screwed the customer. Yeah, I actually used the pickaxe again. That thing works phenomenally. The extra mass behind it and the fact that it's sort of a curved, very hard piece of metal, it works mwah, beautiful. So if you haven't seen that trick, definitely go check it out. And by the way, if you haven't seen my pretty epic wannabe samurai JDM super awesome edit on the Eclipse GSX, please do go watch it because it's the best video I've made in a while. Even if it's not good, it's still definitely the best video I've made in a while, so go check it out. I'll put a little link up there to that as well. So otherwise today, what I've been working on is this beast right here, Rusty Beauty, and I thought I was gonna have everything out from under the car. I was really, really close. But let me show you a few things. I will grab my handy dandy Astro Tools light here. Again, this thing is awesome. I'll toss another link in the description in case any of you really need a great work light. Like I said, they are a bit pricey, but for what this thing has done for me, totally worth it. Oh yeah, actually, so I've got some rust ASMR for you. I'll throw some clips of that in right here, just peeling off the disgusting on this subframe. So yeah, you can see how absolutely terrible that was. And what's interesting to me is that since this stuff is like rubbery, you know, it's got some, see, that's just paint. You can tell that's paint because it just flakes off. But this stuff is rubbery. So I do think part of the culprit of killing this subframe may have been what people talk about a lot, where they say rubberized undercoating will actually trap moisture underneath it, which I do think is especially true for a poorly prepped surface or where you can't completely coat it or where there's already some rust. I do think there are proper ways to use rubberized undercoating. But anyway, yeah, this subframe is super, super trashed, of course, as you know. And I'm an idiot. Some of you may have seen my video where I mentioned that I should have hole sawed out these bushings and didn't realize it until I already had this on the ground, but I did do that. It worked absolutely flawlessly. I have my new Milwaukee hole saw kit that I got a good deal on, and it worked great. Unfortunately, because the subframe is now on the ground, the issue is that while the subframe was up in the air, if I'd hole saw those out, I could have dropped the diff and then pulled the axles out. But now because everything is lowered down, I really can't get enough room to pull the axles out, and the lateral links get in the way of pulling the diff. So I either have to jack up the subframe to pull the axles, or just keep working as is and pull it all out as one and then deal with it, which is probably what I'm going to do. But the one thing holding me up from actually getting this subframe out is these ABS sensors. You can see I've cleaned them up and I've sprayed some rust penetrant on them. I'll get you a little upside down view here. And I did manage to get that bolt out, but you'll probably be able to see it's actually broken off. I used a bolt extractor on it. And, you know, without being able to spin these things, since that bolt stud is still left, they really don't like to come out. So probably what I'm going to do tomorrow is actually use a punch to mark the center of that and try to drill it out, although this might get in my way. But if I can drill out that stud, then I'll be able to get the ABS sensor out easily. Luckily, those ABS sensors actually do have an aluminum base, which is going to make my life a bit easier. They seem to be actually made of metal. The later ones are all plastic, so I should be able to extract them. And the reason I want to save them so bad is they're very expensive, first of all. Depending on specific model years for Subaru, it's just pretty expensive, and they are pretty specific because you can see the bracketry that attaches them to the trailing arm and everything like that. And as far as I know, they were working, so I need those to actually make the ABS work in this car when I replace everything back there. Oh yeah, and speaking of replacing everything back there, another fantastic discovery. This is a bolt, and over here we had an issue too. I'll show you that clip. So basically, don't have a left exhaust hanger. The right one is bizarre, I guess, just so that they could use this. I believe it's Pseudo. I don't remember. The brand is on it somewhere, but I think it's a Pseudo. Anyway, it's a decent exhaust, but you can see it has a short hanger on the one side and a long hanger on the other. So I guess to try to get it to work properly, they had custom rigged that left side hanger, and the other one they had extended. Yeah, so I'm going to have to fix that up. Oh, speaking of exhausts, check this out, another sneak peek if you made it this far in the video. God Snow, the best known brand for performance parts, catback exhaust. So this is actually a stainless mid-pipe and muffler. So, you know, basically downpipe back exhaust for the 2002 WRX. It would actually work on this car or on my 04 WRX as well, but it's for the 02 WRX because that car is just cut right in the middle of the mid-pipe, and obviously once I get this thing out of here, the 2002 WRX is going to get worked on more, etc., etc. So I know I haven't been making the fastest progress on everything, but when you're making daily videos, especially trying to keep the quality high like I have been trying, it's obviously all old content I'm editing, but when I spend many hours in a day editing a single video, and especially when it's super, super cold, I haven't gotten out to the garage a lot, and as most of you know, that really sort of extra effort edit I did on the GSX took a few days out of me, so I wasn't out in the garage doing any work then, but I do hope you enjoyed that. It seemed to get a pretty good response. I'm hoping it'll get some more views over time, but, you know, not doing quite as well as I had hoped, but that's pretty much the YouTube game, so if any of you want to help me out, please do go share that Reviving a Legends video with some friends who are into DSMs or car content or fake wannabe Japanese jokes, anything like that. I would really appreciate it. But I think I'm in a good place to get a little more work in the garage done pretty quickly. So hopefully this thing will be out of here fairly soon. The only things that are going to be really time consuming putting it back together are making sure I put all the right bolts in all the right places and all the right bolts in all the right places. And then I also have to replace the rear bearing seals on these. I can't replace the fronts obviously because the hubs are still in there. So yeah, that'll be a little bit annoying, not a big deal. I guess that won't be that time consuming, but I do have to do that and then put it all back together with bolts. I guess that's just the part that I'm really not looking forward to. Oh, and dang it. And of course I have the spun captive nut inside the frame of this stupid Rusty Hulk. Ugh. So that's going to be really time consuming, but that is life. Last thing I did want to know, mentioning this 2002 WRX God Snow exhaust, which by the way, it actually looks kind of cool, I think. It's got a black stainless can instead of the typical silver. Pretty ricey, but I don't know. I think it's going to look good. I just want to know, for everybody who does watch this and gets all the way to the end, I know it's going to be a skewed statistic since most of you will probably watch most of what I put out, but is an unboxing and install video on that the kind of thing you would enjoy watching, or would you only watch it because I'm putting it out? Or is there any kind of twist I could put on it to make it more interesting? Because, I mean, there are, of course, a million videos out there on installing, you know, exhausts on WRXs. The one cool thing about this one is I did only pay, I think, like $27-ish for it, which unfortunately is not a deal I can get for y'all. It's normally like $140. I got some eBay bucks back, and I also had a coupon from selling stuff on eBay. But yeah, so it's almost free, that exhaust was, which is the only reason I could afford it right now, which is pretty cool. But yeah, just let me know what you think of that. And as always, you can let me know what you're most looking forward to seeing. And then that was the other one I actually really meant to mention to you, is that basically I have the entire process of refurbishing the rear end parts for the GC, painting them, you know, everything, and then the entire disassembly of this rear end and the entire reassembly I'm planning on filming. Almost all of it is time lapse. But so is that the kind of thing y'all would be interested in watching? And that, like, should it be broken up into parts? Like, should the refurbing the parts be its own thing? Should it be 3 parts? Should it just be one long video? If I released, I don't know, let's just say a 25-minute video of completely rebuilding that entire rear end short of the T-frame diff carrier, like, would you watch it? Would you watch the whole thing? Because, you know, it kind of stinks. The bigger channels, they can get away with that, and then when they get good watch time, you know, their long videos do well. If I release a long video and people watch 3 minutes of it, I get like 300 views, and that's all. So, you know, I'm still working on how to make the channel more successful, and obviously I know the big build videos are what's going to do that, but unfortunately I can't produce those in a minute. I have lots of things going on. So that's one moderate build video, and I'm just wondering what y'all think. I think I'm going to stop rambling for tonight. Thank you all very much for watching. As always, I really do appreciate you, and I'm sorry this isn't a more content-full video, but like I said, I mean, plus with shoveling, working on the GC, cleaning the garage after working on the RAV4, I was probably outside for somewhere between 8 and 10 hours today. So it was a very full day, and now I gotta put this online and then get some sleep and hopefully get back at it tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Toss a like, leave a comment. I know I haven't gotten back to all the comments yet, but I'm going to spend some time probably tomorrow morning getting back to more of those because I do like to keep up and talk to everyone. Later!